So, one of my hallucinations was that I was a trainee helicopter pilot for the hospital. And it was snowing, and I had to bring two others with me as well. Now, we were managing an event. We were doing an event where we had to gather up all the actors that played the Doctor from Doctor Who and bring them to various locations for decades, right? And the weather was just awful. Landing anywhere was a goddamn nightmare. It was so stressful, so stressful. And it was just awful. I hated every second of it. But the two people in the back were bickering like little children the whole time. And I was like, could you please shut the fuck up? I'm trying to pilot this helicopter and deliver David Tennant to this event. And I believed every single second of this because obviously it was like it was happening. I was hallucinating my fucking tits off. So there I am doing this helicopter shit, and I'm like almost dodging. I'm having to dodge power lines. I'm having to like do crazy maneuvers just to not crash. Oh my goodness. It's awful. It's truly awful. And I'm like, we get everybody there. Tom Baker, everybody, David Tennant, Christopher Eccleston, John Pertwee, was it? A few of the old doctors, and we get them all at the events, and then I'm trying to land at the hospital. This felt like it was an entire day. In real time, I don't know how long it was. I don't know. But, yeah, so this was the hallucination. And then I was trying to land back on the hospital, and it was fucking impossible. The two people were bickering so hard. I just couldn't concentrate, and like every time I landed, the helicopter would just like dip, like it was gonna fall. Like it was so stressful. I landed eventually in a precarious spot, and then someone else just got in and like landed it properly. But what happened then was like the other two people were like, yeah, the pilot's a piece of dog shit and fucked up real bad. And I was like, bitch, you were arguing and distracting the shit out of me. How is this my fault? Like, you were actually hitting me in the back of my head while I was doing this. Like, how is any of this my fault? And like, fuck you, fam. And then essentially they all passed the test, but I didn't. I didn't pass my test because this is like a test thing. Why would this be a test? Look, shit don't make sense in hallucinations. Okay. But yeah, so I got in trouble for it all. My fault, the whole thing. I didn't pass. I wasn't a pilot, and they were like, "You're not cut out for this shit." And I'm like, but, just if you would just listen even once, and believe me, you would know what the fuck was going on. And they're like, nah, you're done. I'm like, okay, I'm pissed. And like the woman there was like getting all these commendations and shit, and I was just looking on in absolute rage because she was like the instigator of most of the bullshit. I was just like, you motherfucker, how can you do this to me? And yeah, that was the hallucination. Like, these hallucinations, they're like dreams, okay? But I wasn't asleep. which is why I call them hallucinations. Because if I was asleep, it would be a very really vivid dream. But I believe I was awake, I think. I don't really remember any of the real stuff. I just remember the fake stuff. Um, so yeah, that was one of them. The other one was that I was in hospital, and one of the staff misdelivered a bag to me, and it was just full of like alcohol mixing materials and just weird shit, like just for alcohol. I'm like, well, first of all, the problem with that is that no alcohol in hospital. That's a no-no. But it was like a what? I forget what kind of drink, but it was a certain drink anyway. But now this is where the lines between reality and my hallucinations get real blurry, because I was like stirring in this really thick syrup. I don't know why it was a thick syrup for alcohol, but there you go. And I was trying to stir it into like the water jug that you get given in hospital, and it just was like it was like tar. I couldn't stir it anymore. It was just like, yeah, no, this is not a thing you can do. It's like setting cement, and I just couldn't stir the damn thing. And so eventually I was even doing this like that, with the mouth open, like with the cup over it, trying to like get the stuff out. No, it wouldn't move at all. It was literally thick syrup, and I I asked the staff if I could have 2 water jugs with 2 cups. Then, once that all failed, because I was going to do the alcohol mixing, once the alcohol mixing stuff failed, I was like, oh shit, now I've got jugs that are thick with this liquid. I'm going to ask the staff if they can take away both of my water jugs and get me a new one, even though they're full. And I not long ago had them. So this is where I don't know what's real. Because I don't know if I really asked people to change my jugs. I don't know. I could have done. Because they were like, why do you want your jugs changing? We just changed them. We just gave you another one. I was like, yeah, I don't know. Just freshen it up. Like making any excuse. It was just, I don't know if any of that was real. I don't know how much of it. Obviously, the alcohol stuff wasn't real, but I don't know if I was a bitch about getting jugs, with water jugs. I don't know. I just don't know. There was another one which isn't so remarkable, but it was like I was in a hospital, but it was like a very different hospital. And I thought my sister had died from a seizure, which could happen, which is why I believed it, basically. So she had died from a seizure, and I was trying to get information about it. And again, I don't know if I had actually asked any of the staff these questions, but basically I was trying to find out what room she was in, if my family was in at the hospital, because it was like on the same ward, and I was trying to like find out if and how she died, or if it was someone else. I don't really remember too much of this one. That's about like the gist of it. The other one, however, which was my magnum opus apparently, was like a fantasy thing. It was like a haunted house, like a Victorian haunted house. I don't know what. I don't know, man. But it was snowing and it was all cool looking and gothic. Um, I was living it, man. Living it. And we were being attacked by fuck knows. Basically, fuck knows. We were being attacked by some force or nation or whatever. But I was like, okay, I'm now like the commander. I'm like the dude in charge of this whole army. And like, I'm giving this fucking epic hour and a half long speech. And I'm riling up the troops. And I'm like, yep, this was an epic speech. I'm really tired now. Oh, I'm so exhausted. Like, I felt so exhausted. Now, what I was told by some of the staff at the hospital was, oh yeah, you were telling stories really loudly. Like, you were yelling them. Just nonsense stories. And I was like, I don't even like having my phone volume too high, let alone yelling nonsense stories loud enough so everyone can hear it. Fuck. Oh, God. When I was told that, I was mortified. But, yeah, like this long, epic speech. We went to war, we fought, we won. But before all that was weird, really weird, because I was... Like, that's the primary part of the hallucination, right? But the lead up to that was just so weird. Like, there was a house on a hill, because of course there always is, and it was haunted again, and like it was the spirit of a mother that killed her children, and I was trying to exorcise the demon, and like this spirit and all that, and it was fucking weird. But this woman jumped off a cliff and I was trying to save her, and it was just so strange. I can't even describe it properly because it's just so bizarre. But main event TV, my good old pal, main event. I had a hallucination about him. Now the setup is a bit weird, alright, so I'll kind of skip by the setup. But the setup was that I hacked an Xbox 360, leaked the source code of the console in its entirety. Microsoft legal team were after me. I ran away to Japan, because of course you do. But I was in a hotel that was being monitored. But anyway, I was in a hotel and Main Event was there. And I was like, yo, shit, Main Event, what's up? He was like, sick, you're here. You need to see this video. And he was showing me this video of a woman that came to his room to fuck. And he was like, she came in and was like ready to fuck, Main Event. And he was like, nah, we just gonna sip wine and watch TV. Like, the event had like a fucking robe on that was all extravagant and shit. And he was like, nah, we're just gonna sip wine and watch TV. And she was like so pissed off. She's like, what the fuck? Why are you bringing me in here if I'm not gonna get that dick? And he's like, bitch. He's just like, bitch. Fuck you, we're watching TV and sipping wine. If you don't like that, you go. I paid for the hour. Yeah. You're gonna do what I want. And like, Event was like being a complete pimp. It was really funny. He was like showing me a video of her freaking out and being all pissed off that he wouldn't fuck her, and he was just drinking wine. Just casually sitting there drinking wine. It's it's so fucking weird. Oh gosh, my brain at that point must have been like mush. But, yeah, so Events there, just like, yeah, I'm just sipping wine, bitch. Like, you don't want to sip fine wine with me? Fine. Watch TV? That's your loss. So she left, really pissed off. And he was like laughing because he was like, maybe I'll fuck it? No, I won't fuck you. I'm actually just gonna sit here and sip wine. It's like teasing her to be like, yeah, maybe I'll fuck you. And then he's like, nah, I'm just gonna sip wine. Fuck off. Oh my god, Event, you are a motherfucker. Why did you do that? It's like, I don't know, just felt like it. I was like, okay, that's a good reason, I guess. Like, she was doing everything she could to entice him. Like, naked, like, doing all this twerking stuff and naked, and he was just like, it was basically like a villain just sitting back, legs crossed, in this wonderful looking gown, robe thing, just with a wine glass, like, uh-huh, so we're gonna watch this TV. Like, he was such an asshole about it, but it was so funny. I don't know why that occurred, but it did. And he was showing me this video, and I was in hysterics. And I was like, Event, you're bad. Like, that's bad. And then, because I didn't have access to the internet because all my accounts had been blocked because of, again, the Microsoft thing, I was like, I'm going to record some videos and I'm going to give them to you and you can upload them for me. And he was like, yeah, I'll do that. Just send me the video, I'll edit it. I was like, do you want to be paid for this? He's like, nah, I got an editor. I'm like, do you want to pay because you're using an editor for this? He's like, nah, I got it. He's like, main Event having an editor though. Fucking hell. He's like, yeah, I got an editor and everything to do the videos. It's like, shit, sweet, alright. So I just sent him the video and I was just like talking about my plight with Microsoft and all this shit. It was a weird one, man. It was a really weird one. I went to do dog sitting at this awful house in the same dream slash hallucination. Like I said, really weird. So I left the hotel to do this dog sitting. Dog sitting appeared a lot in my hallucinations, by the way. I think it was because I missed Kara, my dog. But it was in like a horrible house, and like the people were druggies, and like event came to save the day at one point because I was like in the house with these people, and eventually it came down to like this guy was wielding a gun. This one gets a little fuzzy, but they end up dead, and a guy tried to assault me on the street. Event chased him down onto a roof and just beat the fucker up almost to death because he was trying to fuck with me. It gets really fuzzy. This one does get really fuzzy. I don't remember it that well. The primary part that sticks out is the first bit I was saying. Obviously, um, yeah, but yeah, he was like beating the dude up and very strange stuff. Very strange. And then another hallucination was that I'd posted a video online that was offensive. I can believe that. And the British public were like rioting over it. That I can't believe. But I fully believed this. And in the hallucination, my house was being burnt down. Angela Hartnight, who's a person on Twitter who's wonderful, was like trying to like get me out of the country or up country just to where it wasn't happening, just so I could like lay low for a bit. And her and Lord Hartnight, again, these are what they go by on Twitter, or as he's lovingly known, Pan Daddy. It's a long story. um, yeah, they were trying to get me out the country, and like they were protecting me. My house was burnt down, and then I think this was real. There's a light. There was apartment buildings near the hospital, right? And there was a red light, and I thought that red light was a sniper rifle laser sight. So I was like, lower my bed down as much as it can go, please. Like, head all the way down, just lower the bed. I'm about to be sniped. I didn't say this to the staff, but I was like, just please. I was like ducking in the bed. I was like, please just lower the bed. And they wouldn't do it. And it was just like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get shot. But I got a night staff to phone my dad at 5 in the morning to tell him that, to ask him, are they okay? Because I saw it on the news, my house has been burnt down. So I got a nurse or a staff member who was very confused. Not as confused as I was, but very confused, to phone my dad and ask him if he was alright and if the house is okay. She was very confused. I don't remember, but my dad tells me that she was very confused and didn't really know what I was doing. But yeah, a call at 5 in the morning, frantically, like, is the house okay? Are you okay? Because I've just seen it burn down, but obviously not for real. There was one, so yeah, that was that one. There was another hallucination where I'd pissed off Nintendo somehow, and I think me and someone else stole prototype DS's or something like that, and we were trying to get out of Japan, and like the rigmaroles we took to try and get out of Japan because Nintendo were tracking us. It was really strange. I don't remember a whole lot from that one. But yeah, what else is there? Shit. Oh yeah, there was one where like it was like a Jerry Springer kind of situation, like one of those, one of those inflammatory talk shows or whatever. And the host pissed off my mother, and I was trying to stop her, like making a fool of herself on TV, and all this kind of shit. Again, I don't remember that one very well either. But apparently it ended basically with just a prank, bro. So I don't know what the fuck was going on that one. That one's kind of nutty. Oh yeah, apparently one of the staff members told me that I was talking to my phone and the screen was black. I was talking to no one. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm just watching the Olympics and this dude just bit the dirt and ate so much shit on his bike. Oh, he ate shit. Anyway, anyway, yo, his bike just came apart. Damn. Right. Anyway, what other hallucination was there? Oh yeah, I was talking to this dude, right, who did a night shift and a day shift back to back, which you're not allowed to do. And he was so tired, and like he was going on like he'd made a joke to some of the female staff, and they reported him, and he was like depressed and was like, not saying I want to kill myself, but I kind of do. And he fed me breakfast one morning, and he he was talking to me, and he was just there, and yeah, I never seen him again. I never saw him ever again. And I was telling people at the hospital, I was like, yo, this dude, and they were like, I don't know who you're talking about. Like, it's like, I don't know who, they're like, I don't know who you're talking about. I was like, oh, okay. Huh. So yeah, I don't really know if that guy was real. Who fed me? What was happening? It's crazy. I just don't know if he was even real. I saw him once and that was it. Gone. But yeah, anyway, that was just a video about my various hallucinations slash dreams. I don't know how many were dreams and how many were hallucinations. I don't really talk in my sleep, but maybe I did when I was high on various pharmaceuticals. I don't know. But I wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. So I have no idea. Again, like I say, for the first like 2 weeks, 3 weeks of being in hospital, I have no idea what was real. The only thing I do know is that I I bought a hacked PlayStation Vita whilst very high on morphine. I was very high. I didn't know what was going on, but I was bidding on this goddamn PlayStation Vita that was hacked. And I was so fucking high when I did it. Yeah, so I've got a hacked PlayStation Vita that I can't use and haven't. I've had it for, again, I've had it for 6 months. I haven't been able to use it not a once. So, I also bought a blender because I was going to have like slushies. Because I really wanted slushies. Oh my god, I had such a thirst for slushies. I haven't, that blender hasn't left the box. I bought it on Amazon, I bought ice cube trays, everything. None of that shit's been used. Well, anyway, that's my entertaining stories. Fucking hell. Well, that might be the last of the hospital videos, I think, because I think that's really all I need to talk about, or wanted to talk about. Not need, but wanted. Um, so yeah, that was fun. Hallucinating is a trip. It's fucked up. It's scary, weird, often unexplainable, as in, like, the things you see are unexplainable. And it's just very, very bizarre. It's very weird to witness, very weird to be a part of. I'm pretty sure I hallucinated a bunch of other things that are smaller things that was going on the ward. Again, I can't be too sure, but I think I definitely was hallucinating some stuff on the ward. Because some of the stuff does not seem like what would be actually happening, you know? So, yeah. It's just very strange stuff. I've never ever experienced it in my life, and now I have, and quite frankly, I don't want to experience it again. What a surprise. Being high on morphine was really nice, though. That was kind of nice. Because I was just like, oh fuck, my head is, I'm swimming. My head is just fucked, and like I feel not happy but jolly. I feel great. Anyway, that's that. 31 minutes. Fuck me. Anyways, see you all whenever. Bye.